Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is one of my favorite things that we get to do during our time here on the podcast. Brad just hit his microphone completely. But we are here to do our top 10 movies of 2024. We're here in 2025 to recap the best films of the year. And of course, this is your nerd. You're going to hear the host of the show. I'm wonderful co-host, Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? 2025, and I'm still alive.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Brad, it has been too long, right?
It's been really long. Like, it's been bad long. Like, I've been bored.
I know, Brad. I know. So we'll get into that. But of course, this episode is live, early, and ad-free over on patreon.com/nerdcore, where you can get this episode for just $1 a month. And you got the top 10 TV shows and miniseries of 2024, which is already up, and you guys can go ahead and watch that right now. And you got that early as well. We're going to be starting my month tomorrow on Patreon as well, and that's going to go up for everybody on Thursday. This is going to be a weird... Typically, this week, you have 4 episodes of the Nerdcore Podcast. So... You know, we were gone for a while, but we're back, and we're going to be doing that stuff. But before we can go ahead and get into today's episode, Brad, how are you doing?
Doing well. I'm waiting to see if I get a snow day tomorrow.
Yeah. Brad, it's cold as a motherfucker, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was like, today wasn't too bad, but it's supposed to get down. High tomorrow is supposed to be like 38.
What's the high? What's supposed to be the high tomorrow? The high tomorrow is supposed to be 39, Brad.
Yeah. I
turned off my heater. Time to put that shit back on, bro.
I hope your power grid makes.
So far, so good, dude. Yeah. It was like 20. It was like 30 something, but it felt like 15 a couple of days ago.
With the wind chill, it was that Monday when I told you I had to wake up early. It was 20 degrees.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
You're like, fuck this.
Why did I decide on this?
Yeah, that's all you, Brad.
That's on us because this platform hasn't gotten bigger. I haven't been able to quit my job yet.
Not yet, bro. But happy 2025 to everybody. Officially happy 2025 because we're recording this in 2025. Very happy to start another year of the podcast with you guys. We're on a different platform, so we're going to be having a little bit of growing pains here. We're working with EV Mux now instead of StreamYard because StreamYard decided they wanted to charge like $400 for their annual plan, which is very stupid.
And we want to do more with the money you guys give us.
Yeah, we don't want to be doing all that dumb shit. So, we're working with that. We're working with this platform now, and we're gonna have some growing pains, but we're trying to figure out how to work it and all that stuff. But if we like it, we're gonna keep it. If not, we might go try Restream, but I'm not too sure. But right now, I found out how to make my banner. I found out how to frame myself, and I might have played a little bit with the customization tools. Like, as you can tell, like we have like this little green border around us. Like I managed to make that. Thought that was cool. But there's gonna be some growing pains. Mm-hmm. But Brad, what have you been up to, bro? How are you? How's it been, bro? Last time we talked. We did the top 10 of the year for miniseries and TV shows. I went to Mexico. I came back. And what have you been able to do? How'd you spend your week? How'd you spend your Christmas? How'd you spend your New Year's?
Christmas and New Year's, hanging out with fam. I think Abe did manage to watch a few movies during that time. And honestly, I think one made the list out of all that I watched. But it was only like 4 or 5. So one of them made the list.
I want you to look, man. When we're done with this, when we're done with the actual top 10 and we're done, at the end, I want you to go through every single movie you were able to watch from fucking November to December.
Yeah, because this is the reason Raul's not mad at me right now, because he knows I fucking tried.
Oh, he tried, bro.
And I really did try. I had what, 2 movies from 2024?
Yeah. One, Brad.
No. Well, one, Deadpool and Wolverine for most of the year, and then I did watch Dune Part 2.
Yeah, but that's when I officially, count you as starting to catch up. But hey, Brad understood. I told him, hey, Brad, we're heading towards the end of the year. We always do our top 10. It's time for you to start catching up. And he said, bet.
I was like, no, it was more like, fuck. I haven't watched anything.
Yep.
And there's a lot on that I'm sure might make your list. Like, I didn't get a chance to watch Gladiator 2. I didn't get a chance to watch Anora. I watched a lot of stuff that didn't end up making the list. It is what it is. I didn't watch
Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis, or however you say it.
I might
I
have
could,
you just get to that soon, so that way we can just talk about it
yeah.
because I just think it's just crazy. I'm gonna go into it later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But no, I mean it was a good holiday for the most part.
it's good, man.
Mostly relaxing. So
Yeah. I went over to Mexico. I mean I
I saw
call
the
it the
pictures.
Yeah, fucking dude, fucking crazy, man. I'm tired. I was tired as shit, bro.
Well, you had a little recuperation time before we started
Yeah.
this, trying to figure out the new platform.
Yeah. Ideally, I wanted to fucking what's it called? Do a bunch of stuff when I came back. Like, I wanted to make the video, like, the intro video, so that way this could actually be live, early and ad free, instead of just recorded, pre-recorded, early and ad free. I wanted to, what's it called? Do that. I wanted to catch some other films that I wanted to watch. Um, I was able to catch up on 2 films, you know, before we finished this up. I mean, before I went to Mexico, I watched Joker Folia Do. I watched Megalopolis. But ideally, I wanted to watch some other stuff. Like, but when I came back, I was so tired from traveling, Brad. So I only got the chance to watch, what's it called? I got the chance to watch Nosferatu, and I got the chance to watch How to Have Sex, which it doesn't end up making the list.
See, that's another one I wanted to watch was Nosferatu, and I didn't get a chance for that.
Yeah, it's only in theaters, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
heard good things though.
yeah, there was things like Don't Expect Too Much from the End of the World that I wanted to watch. To see The Sacred Fig, Baby Girl. I wanted to go to the movie theaters and watch Baby Girl.
I've been hearing a lot about Baby Girl.
I've heard a lot of great things about Baby Girl. But just a lot of stuff that I wanted to catch up on, and
But I want to say I'm very happy right now because Roll in this time frame has not named my top 2 movies, like,
it's
at
crazy. I have a feeling I know what some of them are going to be, and I'm going to be like, Brad, I watched them last year. I didn't get to watch them this year.
all. But technically, there's one that released in the U.S. in this year.
Yeah, yeah. So, but Brad, I missed you, man. I know you missed me.
I did.
And
I still need to mail your stuff. So
God damn it, Brad.
it's snowing, so I don't know.
Yeah. You might want to wait.
I might want to wait. It might be a good thing I waited.
Yeah. But other than that, Brad, just we're back. Very excited to start this new year. Very excited to do more with the podcast. I want us to, to really, what's it called? Keep growing this thing. And I think we are growing because I think we are at like 540 some subs now.
553 on YouTube.
Yeah. So before we can get into the top 10, make sure that you're clicking on the subscription button right there. Subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, and make sure that you leave a like on the video as well. And comment right now. I don't know. Just comment what your favorite movies are. What are your favorite movies are?
Favorite movies of the year. And also, what's your favorite movie of all time? Let's go with that.
Yeah, favorite movie of all time. Drop it in the comments right now. If you're watching right now at this time, stop what you're doing, drop a comment, say what's your favorite movie of all time. So let's go ahead and do this thing, Brad. 2024 was massive. We had a lot of great films come out this year, and I
didn't watch until the last month.
And and I watched a total of 48 2024 releases, Brad. Some of these were released in 2023, but did not get a U.S. theatrical release until 2024.
Yep.
So I feel like we should probably clear it up here, Brad, before we go into the top 10. The way that we categorize this is that it meets 2 criterias. One of 2 criterias. It had a wide theatrical release in the United States from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. Or it had a wide streaming release. It meant that it just completely did not go to the theater, straight to streaming from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. So there's going to be some in here that you're going to be like, Raul, that originally released last year, or Raul, that what's it called? That premiered a couple of months, that just like a couple of weeks ago. Raul, how does it count? And it's like, it's still in that time frame. It's in that time frame. So Brad, because I did the first one on the TV top 10 slash miniseries top 10, you're gonna go first. So Brad, let's go ahead and get this going. These are our top 10 films of 2024. Brad, what is your number 10 of the year?
My number 10 of the year, and I'm glad it's one I kept telling Roll I really want to watch this. Like, I seriously want to watch this. And that's A Real Pain by Jesse Eisenberg.
I haven't even fucking watched it.
Yeah, I got to watch it. I paid to watch it. So
Okay.
there you go. Yeah. So, I think it was on sale. But starring Jesse Eisenberg, directed by Jesse Eisenberg, and starring Kieran Culkin. So Kieran Culkin absolutely steals the show. So I thought really good. Raul has watched 48 movies. I've watched half of that. So I've watched 24 in total. So I'm sure our list isn't going to look too similar, but
No.
I really did enjoy kind of this like not really buddy comedy, but it had a lot of endearing moments in it.
Yeah. Brad, my number 10 is a movie that I adored. I think it has one of, if not Florence Pugh's best performance, next to Midsommar. And I thought Andrew Garfield was incredible in this movie. We Live in Time, Brad. I went into this movie not knowing really much about what it was about. All I know is that Florence Pugh was getting major traction for this movie. And it's really sad that A24 didn't campaign for this hard enough because it's not getting the love it's deserving right now. But I love this movie. Heartbreaking tale about a mother who really just wants to leave a legacy for her child. Mm-hmm. And she's, fighting cancer. And, even though you get to see where they fall in love and where they get together, her and Andrew Garfield, and you really do see, how that relationship and that marriage, like, deals with the cancer. I thought it was a great movie, directed by John Crawley. Beautiful performances from Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, and even the child. I thought the child was really good in this movie too.
So I did end up watching that, and I enjoyed it, but it did not make my list for the end of the year. But I thought it was really well done. I thought it was kind of a very sad romantic movie.
Yeah. And you don't really see a lot of those these days.
No, you don't.
No, but that's my number 10. And Brad, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is a movie starring Zendaya, but not the movie you're thinking of. It's Challengers. Because I liked how the balls bounced in that movie. I mean, very like, if you're gonna watch a sports movie, this is actually a really good sports movie. Like, yeah. It's competitive as hell. It's got a lot of drama. It's a great drama, in my opinion. And I thought cinematography-wise, really good. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So it was further up on my list, but as I kept watching movies, I like, I don't know if it's gonna, and it did end up staying. So.
Yeah. Brad, Challengers was in my list very early in the year. And it stuck in there for a while, but it just, as I watched more, things started to fill in there. And you also let me know like about 2 films that I thought that weren't wide released in this year, but they were.
Yeah.
So I had to add those. But Challengers is fantastic, and I love the cinematography in that movie. Performances are great as well. But and one of my favorite scores of the year.
Yeah, very good.
Great score.
I mean, and I think generally, I think all the actors. I think this was a great cast. And I don't think you get a lot of that emotion through there without like everyone in that movie.
Brad, my number 9 is an animated film, Brad. Robot Dreams. God, man, I watched this movie on the plane on my iPad going to New York, and fought hard to not cry on that fucking plane, man. I love this movie. was so beautifully done. Animation is great, but it's like there's so much in this movie about like moving on and about friendship, love, and it's such a beautifully heartbreaking film.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I really enjoyed that movie too. Also, did not make my list. It was on the list, and then after just starting to watch stuff, it just ended up falling off. But one I think all of the people should watch. It's a great animated film.
great animated movie,
Yeah,
Brad. I love that there's no words spoken in that movie at all. It's literally all just motion and the body language of their characters say everything you need to know about this film, and I loved it so much, man. At this point, like that song from Earth, Wind and Fire is overplayed like hell, but in this movie, I was like, I love it. I'm like, I don't care. I'll listen to it.
especially the ending of it. That was I don't know. That was a very memorable movie, actually.
Yeah, man. Very beautiful movie, man. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it. But yeah, that's one of the ones I was gonna be like, you guys are probably gonna get on me, but like this was officially released here in the United States this year. So, Brad, your number 8.
My number 8 is one of the movies that I told Raul that this was widely released in 2024, so it could be on our lists. Is Zone of Interest.
Which we have a review of that you can check out in the channel. Just go ahead and search it up, and you can find our review of The Zone of Interest.
Yeah, it's such a haunting movie. This is a heavy movie, and when Raul said we're gonna review this, I just knew. Just as we were getting into it, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You can hear. It's weird. The stuff you're seeing on the screen is way different from what you're hearing in the background. Like
Yeah.
like the sound and audio they did in this movie is great. I think cinematography wise is great. I forget when we reviewed this, but it was really early on in the year. And
March.
this movie still haunts me.
Yeah, bro. Incredible film. I love this movie so much, man. I know that A24 has a limited edition of it that I need to pick up. This movie is in my list. You'll be hearing from it a little bit later.
Jonathan
But
Glazer as the director.
incredible. Incredible. Number 8 is a movie that was my number 3 for a while. For a while, I'm not going to lie. It was there. Actually, it was my number 2. It was my number 2. Man, this movie is incredible, Brad. A horror. I think to me this is the best horror film of the year. Oh no, it's not the best horror film. I'm sorry. It's the second best horror film of the year. But easily the best original horror film of this year. Longlegs is incredible. It has one of the best Nicolas Cage performances. I think it's the second best Nicolas Cage performance.
I want to say though, in regards to that, I don't disagree, but he's not on screen that much. But
And that says a lot.
that says a lot. Like you remember
You
it.
are going to remember Nicolas Cage for the 5 scenes that he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Micah Monroe is incredible in this movie. Just the overall look and the overall feeling of this movie is just absolutely skin crawling. It has a very similar feel to The Silence of the Lambs, and it's just such a great movie, man. It is a great movie.
And the ending again, I talked about haunting, and the ending of that movie is still burned into my brain.
Yeah. Jeez, man. Yeah, what a great movie, man. I love this movie, and I hope we get to review it soon, because this is just one of those that to me just really blew me away when I first watched it. And it was one of those where I was just like fully locked into this film. Like nothing could distract me from this movie at all. Brad, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is one Raul actually sent to me and went like, I think this is in your wheelhouse. I think you're gonna enjoy this one, and I did. It's Conclave. I love a good I forget what you called it, like
Procedural.
a procedural movie. I love a good procedural movie. I love the concepts in this. Ralph Fiennes is
Incredible.
terrific, incredible. I don't know why John Lithgow was there, but I liked it. That was really weird to see John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci, but just the movie is just very shocking. And at the same time, I'm going, is this kind of based on an actual pope, like one of the popes, or I mean, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the ending, I was like, I did not see that coming, but kind of makes sense. So, but I would say it's on Hulu. Go watch it. I really enjoyed it. That's why it's number 7.
I thought Conclave was fantastic. It didn't impact me the way it impacted a lot of other people. And I love the politics of it, and I love the way that they frame it. And there's a lot about that movie that I think is just masterfully done.
What's going on outside of the building
Yeah.
and everything. And you were right when you were like, Brad's gonna like this. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
procedural movie. He loves
I didn't really impact me the way that it impacted a lot of others. That I was like, oh my God. But I do think it's one of the best screenplays of this year. I think it is. My number 7, Brad, is a movie. I don't know if you got to it, but is a movie that I had at my number 3. My number 3, because it was for a while it was my number 1 was a certain movie that I'm not gonna say because then I would spoil for you guys, and it was Long Legs, and it was this movie. I love this movie. I think it's one of the best neo noirs of recent time. Is a great queer neo noir, and it's sexy. It's beautiful to look at. It has a great performance from Kristen Stewart, and it is also has one of the most obnoxious but entertaining endings in the movie. Love Lies Bleeding, man. I think Love Lies Bleeding is really, really good. It is one of those that I was looking forward to so much, and I wanted to see it in theaters, but sadly did not get the chance to. But I thought it was great, man. I really did enjoy this movie and how much it really talked about not just sexuality, but also codependency and also about bodybuilding. There's a lot of a discussion in here about bodybuilding and competitive bodybuilding, and I thought it was really cool about that. But loved this movie. Is my number 7. Brad, what is your number 6?
Before I get onto that, I want to say I did not get a chance to watch that movie. It was on the list to try and watch, but I did not get a chance to. My number 6, Yorgos doesn't miss, and he did not miss with Kinds of Kindness. Again, a great cast: Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Defoe, just thrown in there in 3 different short films.
And Margaret Qualley, too.
Do you consider them short films?
Vignettes.
Yeah, so there's 3, which is fine with me. The more Yorgos, the better. I really enjoyed it. Yorgos is creepy and weird as can be, and he's in his element in this movie.
Yeah. I think, so I don't know if it was in my top 10, but I did really enjoy Kinds of Kindness, but it's another one of those where it just didn't impact me the way that it impacted a lot of people. I also thought that it was a little draggy at times, and
I could see it. I think it did help that it was split in 3 different. I think if you try to do one movie specifically on any one of those, it would have been a lot more draggy. But the fact I think it split in 3 kind of helped my ADHD rattled brain, and it's like it kind of moved to the next thing. And I thought all the 3 of the stories were really fun to watch.
I think Jesse Plemons is really, really good in this movie.
Yes, I think Emma Stone's really good in this movie too.
Yeah.
And Defoe, of course.
Of course, man. Defoe's always great, and Margaret Qualley was in it too.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 6, Brad, is the best horror film of this year, and this man. There's so much to say about this movie because after The Northman did not perform well in the box office, I remember specifically listening to an interview where Robert Eggers said, "It seems that Nosferatu is off the table.
Oof.
It's not going to happen."
Oof.
And I was like, fucking Focus Features, man. Like, you already screwed the guy over with your interference on The Northman, and you take away this obvious passion project for him, but you get a director like Robert Eggers, who's an artist in every single sense of the word. He's an artist in every single sense of the word. He's made incredible films like The Witch, like The Lighthouse, and I like The Northman. I might even say that I love it after a second watch.
That was pretty good.
But I don't think it's great, and I don't think it's perfect. But I was like, dude, if Nosferatu never comes out, I don't know if I will ever forgive Focus Features for doing that to Eggers. Thankfully, it happened, and he brought it. And to me, it is the best horror film of this year. I was
And
able to watch it a second time, Brad.
I gotta ask this because we reviewed the silent version.
Better than the original.
Okay, that's all I need.
Better than the original.
I mean,
I think that the original is incredible, and it is incredible in its own way.
yeah.
And I don't think, of course, you can't have this movie without the original. But I think that this amplifies the atmosphere and the whole idea behind the original, and it plays with some stuff like the eroticism, the kind of like queer parts of this movie that you don't really pick up on in that original. But I know it's great. I love this movie. Beautifully shot, has an amazing performance from Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. Lily Rose Depp is great in this movie too. Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe is great as well as always. I fell in love with this movie, Brad. It is easily one of the best looking films of this year. If I didn't love my number one score that much as I did and how it plays into the film, I would say that Nosferatu has the best score this year. But I'll be honest, and I'll just go ahead and just say it. I think Nosferatu has the best score that Robert Eggers has ever done in his movie. This guy should never stop working with Clint Mansell, or Clint, or whatever his name is. He did the last one for The Northman. Never stop working with this guy, man. This guy is an incredible composer, and he is just amazing, man. I loved this movie so much. I'm glad that I was able to go and watch it again, because I was going to be so pissed at myself that if the only time I was able to watch this movie was at a terrible screening with people who didn't appreciate it. And I watched it in Dolby Cinema, which I think that Dolby Vision HDR really does amplify the look of this movie a lot. Brad, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our top 10 after these words from our sponsors. But in the meantime, we'll catch you guys after these words. See you guys in a bit. Today's episode of the Nerdcore is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCore. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us after the commercial break. Remember, guys, if you want to get these episodes without ads, early and ad-free, and live at times, other than this one and the TV show one because it was a pre-recorded, go over to patreon.com/nerdcore. At $1 a month, you get episodes like this and our other reviews live, early, and ad-free before anybody else gets to watch it day after or days after. So, Brad, let's go ahead and get into our top five here. These are, to me, where we start going into maybe those perfect score areas. I'll tell you this right now, though, only 3 of these will have perfect scores to me. But the top 5 is the cream of the crop, Brad. This is the stuff that really stood out above the rest. What is your number 5, Brad?
My number 5, and it's already been mentioned by Raul, is the horror film Longlegs. I mean, as I said, Raul's watched a lot more movies than me. But Longlegs, I think, deserves, a top 5, at least in my score, because, again, Nicolas Cage, for the, 5 scenes he's on the screen, steals it. The whole presence of this movie brings you dread. I love how they filmed this. This is both it's almost like an FBI procedural meets horror. And so it's like 2 of my favorite things, just they combined.
Mixed together.
Meets like X-Files kind of, because she's like psychic. So it's just like this is in my wheelhouse. So I appreciate everything Raul said about it before, and I think it was one of the top horrors. I think there's one film that I consider horror that's above this, that's in my top 5.
Yeah, straight. Fucking Oz Perkins, man. If the son of Anthony Perkins, bro. If he can do it, it's gonna be the son of Anthony Perkins, man. Great movie. I love that movie. I'm glad that you liked it, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that you were able to get to watch that, man. My number five is a movie that sadly you didn't get to watch, Brad. I love this movie. It's a beautiful Cinderella story about a sex worker who ends up getting married to a Russian oligarch, or the son of a Russian oligarch, and her and a couple other people go on a Wizard of Oz journey to figure out what the fuck is gonna happen, man. Sean Baker's Honora, the Palme d'Or winning film, it's incredible. I love this movie. You know, we watched a couple Sean Baker here, man,
Mm-hmm.
on this channel. We reviewed Tangerine last year.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever what's it called, Sean Baker does his thing, man, he just does it so damn right, man. He does a great job. He shoots this on film. It looks incredible. He is deep in the streets of New York shooting this. There's so many laugh out loud comedic moments that just really get to you. But there's also a lot of beautiful, tender, and sympathetic moments with Annie, who's played amazingly by Mikey Madison, who I think is one of the best performances of this year. And just a great movie, man. I love this movie. I love the soundtrack, the score, and there's a certain look to it that just really caught my eye. And it's one of those that once it's available for Brad to watch, I think we're just gonna have to sit down and review this one because he loved Tangerine. So I hope he would love Honora. But Brad, what is your number four?
My number four is The Substance, which I consider the best horror film because to me it's a horror film.
You know what, Brad? Damn, that's true, Brad.
Yeah, I consider it the
Damn,
best
yeah,
horror
I take
film.
that back, guys. Longlegs is not the best original horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Demi Moore is freaking terrific in this. Just goddamn terrific. And I think she got the Golden Globe for this, right?
She won her Golden Globe,
Give
Brad.
her fucking flowers for this. Because I don't want to see anyone else do that role after seeing this movie. It
I will be
is
screaming
amazing.
if Demi Moore is nominated for an Oscar for a body horror film. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean there are parts in this you cannot look away from this film, and there are parts of it that it deserves recognition. I love the colors they use in it. The cinematography is amazing. I can't praise this movie enough. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's fucking good.
yeah. Brad, my number four is a movie that you mentioned that I'm glad that you reminded me about because when I first watched The Zone of Interest, I was like, I didn't watch it in the best place. You know, just what's it called? The speakers were off in the theater. People were talking. People were on their phones. So I was like, damn, bro, this really is not the spot for me to be watching this shit, bro. Like, come on, you can't even give fucking respect to the people who fucking died during the Holocaust. Like, holy shit, man. Like, please stay home. And I rewatched it for our review last year, and I understood everything that people were going on raving about. Sound design, the overall look of this movie, the fucking performances, man. Like, this is Jonathan Glazer's best work, man. Easily Jonathan Glazer's best work, and I think for a while until he can make something else that tops this, I think this is his most impactful work. I mean, this is just it gets under your skin like crazy. It's very haunting,
Yeah.
and I don't know what he does with space and what he does with tightness, and it's so haunting, Brad. It's a movie that I don't know how anybody could watch this like multiple times in a year. It's very haunting. But then again, we're gonna be talking about a film this week that that I don't know how I even watched it more than twice. But this movie is incredible. I love this movie and easily one of the best movies of this year, Brad. This is bar none one of the most important movies that came out this year.
Yep. I agree. And the fact that we can still remember and we like reviewed that quite a few
Yeah.
months ago is amazing.
It's still impacted me even more
Yeah.
now, Brad.
The fact it's kept on the list and as high as it has, the fact
Yeah.
it's even on the list after so many months of us, well, of Raul watching movies and then me watching movies in the past month
Yeah.
or two.
Yeah. Brad, what is your number three?
Ooh, top three, baby. Three, and I think you'll probably agree with me that it should be in the top three, is of course Dune Part Two. Denis don't miss. Um, I like the continuation from Part One. I think I agree with you. I think Dune Part Two is better than Part One. Cinematography, it's very hard to beat. Um, and then I mean, from going from what we've seen in what was it, 1984's Dune,
Yup.
to what this is, it's just spectacular. What Denis has been able to do with this sci-fi, um, gigantic novel that I think most people would not even want to try to approach to make.
Yeah. 100%, man. I mean, what's it called? Doom Part Two was my number one for so long.
And
Until
then Chalamet and Zendaya, like great. Continuing on, yeah,
and also Han's score, man.
yeah.
God. Oh my God. But
And then,
I love this movie.
then more Skarsgårds than these movies. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. Yeah. My number three, Brad, is one of my three perfect scores this year. This movie, it made me cry in the theater. And I really appreciated what it was saying about motherhood. I appreciate what it would said about chosen family. And this movie just blew me away. And I really loved every moment of it. The Wild Robot is the best animated film of this year. Easily one of the, what's it called, the hardest movies that I had to sit through, emotionally and everything I've been going through these last couple of years. But man, this movie just really got to me, man. It really did, and it just absolutely fucking killed me, Brad. I could not. I walked out of that theater just completely, what's it called, emotionally challenged, but also just changed as a person. And I think when films can do that to you, I think that they're perfect, and just great. I love the
I mean,
animation in this movie,
I think
music, everything.
I think that's the best animated film I watched
Yeah,
this year.
yeah,
And it was number 12 on my list. It was. I think it started at 7 or 8, and
yeah,
then gradually as I watched
yeah.
movies. But I agree with you everything you said.
Yeah, I know that right now the race is looking like it's gonna be Flow, but it's like, bro, I don't know, man. To me, it's the Wild Robot. I think the Wild Robot really takes it for me. Brad, number two.
My number two, I don't even know if Raul has heard of this movie, is The Taste of Things by Tran On Hung.
Huh?
It is a French historical romantic drama. Yes, I'm reading the Wikipedia to y'all right now because Raul has not even this was not even on his radar. It is a movie with
Oh,
a
I heard
passion
about this.
for cooking, and there is a love story intertwined. And what they do cinematography wise, the cinematography is the best thing I've seen this year when it comes to cinematography. This movie has like you know how when you look at anime food and you're like, man, I could eat that. That's how I feel about this film. It's like the way they present food in this film is just it makes your mouth drool. But really the deeper thing in this, other than cinematography, is I really enjoyed the love story going on here, and then what they do with lighting throughout the movie to show what's going on with the story. It really adds an impact to it. The sound and music also adds to it. But to me, it's really the cinematography. The actors are great; they do what they need to do, and but it's really cinematography and yeah, just the lighting effect they use throughout the movie.
Yeah, this one snuck right in for you, Brad, because this got
February,
wide release February
February.
9th.
Yep,
February 9th, 2023,
yep.
2024.
2024. Yep.
Yeah. Brad, I didn't watch this. I didn't even heard this existed, Brad.
It's on Hulu.
But
So
it's got Julia Binoche, which I love Julia
yeah,
Binoche.
Julie Binoche, Benoit Magimel, and they are great in this movie. So
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you just got to go down my list. I didn't fucking hear about this movie at all, Brad.
I'm telling you,
Um,
I told you, you have not mentioned the top two movies of mine, and they, I will say the number one of mine, I think it was the sixth or seventh movie I watched.
okay. So my number two, Brad, is one that you already brought up. It was my number one for a lot of this year until I watched my number one, Doom Part Two, Brad. What else needs to be said? I think that this movie truly is the epic that it is and that it was described as. It is the epic that Denis Villeneuve has been working his whole career towards. And
I will gobble part three. I will
I'll
gobble
be there for part three, man.
I will gobble the spice.
Everything about, the performances, the fucking look when you go to Fade Rotha's planet, Giddy Prime, and all these things, bro, that are just expertly done. And to me, until the number one came out, part two, this movie part two was my favorite score. I thought Hans had done one of the best jobs he's ever done. Like, what I really appreciate about Doom Part Two, and that I don't think I even brought up in my review, there are things about, like, when it comes to the directing and writing, obviously from Denis, the cinematography from what's it called, Fraser, the score from Hans. You can tell that everybody who's working in this movie, this is a passion project to these filmmakers. This is a movie. This is a book, an adaptation that they wanted to make for a long time, and for Hans to make instruments for the first time ever created, to be able to make scores like this, to me, it's incredible. It's a perfect score to me. I love this movie more than Part Two. I think both are just as great. They're both perfect to me, but I think that Part Two is obviously the epic and is it is the better movie. But holy shit, man, it is incredible. I mean, VFX, everything, Brad. The whole scene when Paul goes to speak to the people after he's been drinks the water of life and everything, and he just fucking goes crazy and tells them, like, oh, I'm the one that your mothers have told you about, like I'm the Lisan Al Gaib, like that scene where I think to me that's the best scene that Timothy Chalamet has ever acted in his whole career.
Yeah, that was basically, these are my nuts scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad, but before we can get into our number one, we have some honorable mentions. So let's go ahead and do this thing, Brad. My honorable mentions, Brad, I'm going to go through my list here. These five, my honorable mentions are Megalopolis. I do not understand at all what people fucking had a problem with when it came to Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. I agree with my friend Marcelo Paredes on Instagram, In the Mood for Kino, that you can follow. He sent me a voice note and he says, I think people expected to go in to watch the Godfather.
Godfather Part 8.
Yeah. And they weren't paying attention the trajectory of Francis Ford Coppola's career since The Godfather. This was nowhere near going to be a Godfather. And I love what it had to say about society and a lot of other things. I thought this movie was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it a lot. Brad, Conclave is in there as well. Beautiful screenplay, well written. Just wasn't up to the par of what these other films on this list were. Joker Folie à Deux, the movie with the most balls this year, because Todd Phillips walks into that fucking into the theater to show you this movie. Todd Phillips brings you this movie to the theater and says, "Fuck you. You wanted a straight up sequel with action-packed sequences. That is not what I'm giving you. I am giving you a thematic sequel that takes upon the ideas that I present to you in the first film, and I'm not going to spoon feed you it. I'm going to give it to you through the ideas of a musical. It is great. I love Lady Gaga in this movie. Joaquin Phoenix is even better in this movie. Is great in this movie as well. Not better. I'm sorry, but I think Joker Folie à Deux was completely misjudged. I think it went completely over people's heads. And I love when a filmmaker can say, fuck you, you are not getting the movie that you think you deserve. You're going to get the movie that I think you deserve. And just completely turns the table and subverts expectations. And I love that about Joker Folie à Deux. Challengers, Brad, love it. Yeah. What else can I say? Easily the best performance was Zendaya this year. I thought I was going to go into a fucking smut film, but I didn't end up getting that, and I fucking hate that I kind of didn't get that as well. But you can't deny what Luca Guadagnino does in this movie with the cinematography, the score as well from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It's just a great movie. My next one in my honorable mentions is a movie that I actually got to watch this last month. Red Rooms. Holy fuck, is this movie crazy? Red Rooms is nuts.
I never heard this movie.
Yeah. Well, this is my taste of things, Brad. Red Rooms is an amazing commentary on true crime, on obsession. It is basically about this. It's Brad. It's a procedural. Brad, you might want to watch it. It's a procedural. Okay. Basically, this guy's on trial for allegedly killing somebody. But what's it called? It's crazy, Brad. I can't explain more than that. You gotta find out for yourself, Brad. It is incredible. One of the best horror films of this year. It is absolutely disturbing in every way possible, Brad. Fucking crazy movie. Brad, what are your honorable mentions here?
My honorable mentions. I'm gonna throw out there The Wild Robot because we've already talked about it. It was in Raul's top 5. So for the same reasons, I think that's probably the best animated movie of the year. I'm going to now throw out there Deadpool and Wolverine. Just because I think we have to mention it. It was probably one of the biggest blockbusters of the year everyone was waiting for. We never thought this team up would happen. It happened, and I think everyone walked away of theater going, "Hey, that was pretty good." I
liked it a lot.
I liked it. Yeah, I didn't get my popcorn bucket, but
Yeah, well, Brad, I wasn't gonna go on Thursday.
Well, I know, but I mean, I'm not paying fucking $200 for the thing on eBay either, so I'm no fault of yours, Roll.
Welcome.
My next one is the Kevin Smith's The 4:30 movie. So it's basically a movie about Kevin Smith as when he was a teenager. So he's writing it from that perspective. It's a fun movie. I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever by Kevin Smith, but I got to mention it because it's Kevin Smith, and there's a lot of moments where I get a light chuckle throughout it, as every Smith movie. So I think if you have time, go ahead and watch that. So it's not a long watch.
All right.
I have to mention La Chimera.
Okay.
La Chimera, I think it might be one of the better looking films of the year. It's just, it took me a long time to get into the movie. It took me about half the movie to actually, start like really digging the story. And then from that halfway mark on, it's like really good. So, I like what Alice Rohrwacher, I think that's her name, the director. I like what she did, and I think overall it's a cool kind of period drama, like I think the 70s. It's in that era, and I mean it's something you don't really see. You don't see like Tomb Raiders, guys who go and steal out of tombs. So kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then my last one, and I mentioned this before, it was on my list. I really enjoyed this film by Titus Kaphar, Exhibiting Forgiveness. I think Andre Holland might have one of the best acting roles I've seen this year. And overall, I really enjoyed the story about, trying to find forgiveness for, a parent who basically did you wrong your whole life. So I thought it was a very tough watch, but I think overall it was very well done. And so I would mention I think people like who haven't seen it should see that.
Yeah. All right, Brad. Here we go, dude. This is the best movie of the year according to our list. The number one. Brad, take it away. What is your favorite movie of 2024?
My favorite movie, which made me cry through half the goddamn movie, is Kelly O'Sullivan's and Alex Thompson's Ghostlight.
Huh?
See, he did not know these, and that's why I didn't want to mention it.
Ghostlight?
Ghostlight. It is a film about loss.
2018?
2024.
Oh, with Keith Cupperfer?
Kelly O'Sullivan, Alex Thompson,
Yeah.
and then yes, Keith Cupfer.
Okay. Go
It,
ahead, Brad. Sorry. I'm invading on your time.
it's a movie that deals with a heavy loss and a family trying to struggle through it. A father who's trying to comfort his daughter, but at the same time can't because he can't find comfort in himself, and he's trying to find forgiveness. And it also it kind of plays with the whole Romeo and Juliet theme and the part of it. But to me, this is the heaviest fucking movie I watched because I swear to God, I cried from the halfway mark of this movie until the end.
Brad, it says here the people who fucking portray the family are a real family.
Yeah, and it helps.
Oh, Dolly De Leon, Brad, from Triangle of Sadness.
Mm-hmm.
She's in
Yep,
this.
she is in this. So yes.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't know how this escaped your radar, but I was not mentioning it for that very fact.
Brad, I never heard this movie before in my life, Brad.
Yeah, yeah.
Where the fuck did you find this?
Again, I explain it as when Raul is like, you need to watch and figure out your best films. Well, you know what I'm doing? I'm Googling what are the best films people are saying. And this was on a lot of the lists.
That's crazy,
it
Brad.
was not high up on people's list necessarily,
Yeah.
but I would go down and be like, okay, 40, Ghost Light, wonder what this is. And then I watched the thing. I think it's either the 6th or 7th movie I watched, and that damn thing stayed on the top
Yeah.
of my list for almost 20 other movies.
My number one of the year, Brad. My favorite movie of 2024. Let me tell you about The Substance.
Oh yeah.
God damn. God fucking damn. Can I want to read to you guys my fucking review of The Substance on Letterboxd, please, before I even say anything else. Look at this. My review says, first of all, it says 10 out of 10. I had to sit with this one for a while. The Substance is so many things at once. It's transgressive, absurd, heartbreaking, and audaciously masturbatory in such a way that emphasizes what beauty standards and the over-sexualization of the body does to a society of women as a whole. Women are the forefront of the film and the primary emphasis, but it's also the audience being commentated on. An audience built on viewing agency over the body as a way to achieve control over careers and tossing them aside once their prime is gone. The flow of this film is so inherently masturbatory that it almost tells the audience, all you want from me is to get you off. Yet The Substance turns all of that on its own head to deliver one of the greatest third acts I've ever seen. Blood floods the screen, and a delicious operatic massive fuck you is delivered. The best film I've seen so far this year. I can't wait to watch it again. The way that this movie, Brad, everything, Demi Moore's amazing performance, the best performance this year, from an actor or actress, it doesn't matter what it is, that is the best performance this year. Margaret Qualley is incredible as well. The special effects, Brad, the score. Brad, when I tell you the way that this movie is flowed and the way that the score goes, it is basically you're watching a JOI compilation video from fucking Pornhub, Brad. It is basically challenging you. It's like, there are so many levels to the way that this movie plays out. It's just incredible. Like, the whole pump it up sequence, it literally plays out like a fucking JOI, Brad.
Can I just say the final fucking scenes in that is a goddamn Guar fucking video.
I was fist pumping, fucking going nuts in that room, bro, in that theater. I was just absolutely like just blown away, Brad, at those last 10 minutes of that movie, Brad. Like, just it's the scene for Triangle of Sadness where everybody's throwing up. I'm not laughing. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like holy shit, man. Like, this movie is incredible, Brad. I didn't think I would like a Dennis Quaid performance, but you know what, Brad?
Oh yeah, he was good.
He did his bro real well.
Dennis Quaid can be an asshole.
Who knew that, right? If he's not playing Reagan, he's playing a great asshole. Um, Brad's movie is incredible. It's perfect. It is the best horror film of this year. Um, I do believe that Caroline for Katz direction should be awarded. I think that this should take a lot of the rewards this year. Caroline Forgot, I'm sorry, but who knows if it will? But I couldn't get over this movie, Brad. It's still in my head. I still see those last 10 minutes, and I'm telling you, Brad, when you're fucking just delivering that massive fuck you, Brad. It is so sad as well, though. It's such a sad movie because what these women do to themselves to achieve this and what they're just is just crazy. And it's just not, and it doesn't even just touch on women. It touches on disabled as well. And like the way it's just, I thought it was just incredible, Brad.
Well, and this movie goes to show that that women have a hard and difficult time when it comes to dealing with aging,
Yeah.
just like I think many of us do.
Yeah.
But this one definitely shows it in a different way.
Yeah. And you couldn't get a more perfect actress for this to
Yeah.
present that. Demi Moore, who was at the top of her career in the 90s and was absolutely, what's it called, a movie star in every sense of the word. And then, her career just, it stopped. And we weren't hearing about it that much. But she comes back with this and it's kind of saying, like, I aged, but I'm still the actress that you guys loved back then.
Yeah,
I haven't
and
changed.
no,
I'm
and
still, it's great.
no, and she can still put on a damn good performance.
100%, bro. 100%. I
What
love this
what a
movie.
what a selection of top movies that are, I think, inherently just so different.
Yeah, I know. What a top 10, bro.
And I
What a
didn't
top
mention it,
10.
but I want to mention it. Keith Kupferers. I can't. His last name, fucking terrific. Like great actor. I
Yeah.
just wanted to mention that just because I know this. I know when I said Ghostlight, you're like, what? And I
Huh?
think that's what a lot of people are going to be like. Is like, what did he even watch? And it's like this. Go watch this. I think it's some of the best performances. Kind of like The Substance. Go watch The
Yeah.
Substance because that movie is on a whole nother level.
Yeah. Brad, before we can go ahead and finish, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we got to watch. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to watch. So as we continue on with the next coming months, we still got stuff that we can review. Brad, what's on the list that you think you might want to watch that you didn't get the
Um,
chance to?
I definitely want to watch Gladiator 2. I did not get a chance to watch that. Um, I want to watch Honora. Honora? Honora.
Nora? Yeah.
Um, there was another one you mentioned on there that I didn't get to watch. Um, I know those two definitely. Probably Joker. I mean, and
Megalopolis?
Megalopolis. Yeah, just because it was one of those things. I only had like a month. I knew I was running out of time, and so I'm like, okay, what do I watch? And it's like, okay, I have time to watch this 1 hour, 30-minute movie that people have been saying is good. It's just I think when there's a lot of negative stuff, it's like, do I spend my time on that? And you know, and if I don't like it, then well, I don't have a top 10 yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to get to the Seed of the Sacred Fig. I want to get to
That's one I want to watch. The Adrian Brody,
the
uh,
the Brutalist. The
Brutalist.
fucking Brutalist,
Yeah,
Brad. Which is
that's what we both want to watch. I
it's
don't even care if
finally
it's 3
coming out
hours.
here.
Yeah,
It's finally coming out here. So that means that like Brad ain't gonna have it. So eventually we're gonna have to get to the Brutalist one way or another.
yeah.
But Brutalist is a high priority. I really want to see it. I still really want to get to Dee Dee.
I did watch Dee Dee. I thought, you know, good coming of age story, but it just didn't. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. I wanted to get to what's it called? I want to get to Sing Sing as well. I didn't get to watch Sing Sing, and I
I
still
that is
really want to watch Sing Sing.
that's one that's on my list that I think I would really like. Sing Sing was kind of like whenever people mentioned Ghostlight, from what I was reading, they were mentioning like you probably like Sing Sing, and I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
I probably need to watch that then.
Yeah. And of course, Luca's new film, Queer, as well. But I really want to watch Brazil's uh, submission for Best International this year. I'm Still Here has not been released in the US yet. This is apparently really, really fucking good. So I really want to watch this movie. Been recommended to me by Russ. And I need to get to this movie already. Like, I need to get to it. But with that said, Brad, let's go in here, Brad. From excluding Deadpool and Wolverine, from November, I want to say it was November, right, or was it October?
It's whenever I watch Dune.
Yeah. What was everything you watched? What's everything you caught up on, Brad?
All right, so my full list of the 2024 movies. So Robot Dreams, Dune Part 2. I'm including Zone of Interest in there because we figured that out after the fact.
I want to know every 2024 release you watched.
Deadpool and Wolverine, Challengers, Ghostlight, Fly Me to the Moon, Dee Dee, The Wild Robot, The Bike Riders, The Critic, The Taste of Things, The Substance. It's like I watch all the films with the in it.
Yeah.
La Chimera, Kinds of Kindness, A Real Pain, Exhibiting Forgiveness, Long Legs, My Old Ass, Juror Number 2, We Live in Time. The reason he's laughing, he knows. Conclave, the 4:30 movie, and then the last film that I watched for before this was Memoir.
Memoir of a Snail?
Yes.
Oh, man, I didn't get to Memoir of a Snail, man.
Yes.
I also forgot, I don't know why, but like the title really gets me interested, but I really want to watch How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. Like, I don't know what the fuck that movie's about, but the title just really gets me.
Why does that feel like it would be an Adam Sandler movie? Like that's
I think it's a drama, though. It's like a straight up drama, though.
That's the Adam Sandler song right there.
Yeah. But yeah, there's still a lot that I would like to watch, guys. It's a lot that Brad likes to watch. But that was a lot, Brad. I thank you so much, Brad, for actually getting through this stuff. I know that you were gonna catch up, but I know you were gonna catch up like that. That's crazy.
I was trying. I was putting in an effort. And I actually came out with a lot of good movies that I'm glad I ended up watching this year.
Yeah.
And I still gotta say, like, it was surprising what ended up on my list.
I know.
At the end of it.
I know, especially something I haven't fucking never heard of, bro.
Yeah, and I just gotta say you have to watch at least the two that I named. One's on Hulu. The Taste of Things is on Hulu. Ghostlight, I think it might have been. It's on like Acorn. You get the free Acorn through Amazon. Yep, I don't know.
Yeah. Who the fuck is that? What the fuck that is? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say movie, but movies where I watch The Substance for free. With the free trial, and I think there's one called Acorn where you can watch Ghostlight for free.
Yeah.
With the trial.
Well, hopefully the next time, you hear from us, we're starting up my month of movies that I picked, and God, I guess one of the bits is gonna be on this channel is like, when are we ever gonna review the Brutalist, or whenever are we gonna fucking see the Brutalist?
I don't know. We've both been talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely love it, man. The Brutalist is this year's Zone of Interest.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
It's like last year when we were like, will we ever get to see the Zone of Interest? And like comes out and fucking like they do the limited release in December. And I'm like, okay, I think I get the chance to watch it. Have a terrible screening, and I'm like, fuck this, man. Yeah, I hope when I go see the Brutalist, if I would imagine that people would not be rude, you would imagine that people who take film seriously are gonna go watch the Brutalist and will not be a fucking disturbance. But just watch me. Knowing my luck, Brad, I'm going to get a terrible screening of the Brutalist.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But with that said, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, you guys are the amazing people that you are. And we just want to thank you guys so much. This is the way that we can go ahead and get this year started along with our top 10. So we have 2 top 10 episodes now for you guys. We're going to go ahead and get started with my month, which will be kicking off with a review of Gaspar Noé's I Stand Alone. This month is going to be Gaspar Noé month. Brad is going to hate me this month. He is going to fucking hate me. There's a lot that's going to happen this month. I'm very sorry for what Brad is gonna have to watch. I'm very sorry for what Brenda might walk into. I hope she doesn't walk into some of the scenes that I'm thinking of. Um, and we also have some other films that I've been wanting us to review on here for a while. Brad has one review this month, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to have a lot of other stuff going on, like season 2 of Spawn. We're going to start that off this month. And of course, we're going to have our mini pod and all that wonderful stuff. So we're ready to get going. Now that we started the new year, guys, Creature Commandos and Skeleton Crew move over to Saturday and Sundays now. So you will not catch us live on Friday, but we will be live on Saturday and Sunday for those episodes. So we're gonna keep doing it at our own pace, where we're doing it on a delay. So for now, that's all we've got for you guys in that sense. But we've got to wait for new shows to start. I know. This year we get Daredevil Born Again, Brad.
Woo!
So I'm excited for that.
Woo!
Yep. And of course, we do need to get to City of God. The fight rages on. So that will probably be the nice little placeholder in between when these next shows start. But with that said, make sure you keep up to date with us on all things social media, thenerdcore.com, Twitter at the nerdcore _ Instagram at the nerdcore, patreon.com/nerdcore, letterboxd at the nerdcore, TikTok at the nerdcore until the 19th. And yeah, all that wonderful stuff. Make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube, click the notification bell, leave a like on your favorite podcast app of choice. Make sure you're leaving a 5-star review, and make sure that you're also following us and giving us all your love and attention over there as well. I don't have my scroller, so I don't know what the fuck I have to say anymore. But yep, we thank you guys so much for being the wonderful people that you are. Thank you for deciding to spend your 2025 with us now, and we will be getting to giving you guys a great year. Thank you to our wonderful producers, wonderful Patreon supporters. Without them, none of this is possible. Tell them about our wonderful executive producer, Shane. Where can they find him, Brad?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at ThriftedIL, or go buy something from the Suppy God at dpop.com/Prison City Vintage.
Damn straight. And of course, hope you all have a great day. We'll be back for our first review of Gaspar Noé Month with I Stand Alone. But in the meantime, I'm getting out of here. Brad, let's go ahead and send him out of here.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to our listeners out there, Patreon supporters, and all those who join us in future chats. And to end this episode, this was a very, very. This is one of our fun episodes we get to have, considering what's coming up in the next one. So, I guess to end this, keep watching movies. Make your own list. Let us know what they are.
Cut.
Young Yoda out.